Good evening. I'm surprising you all tonight. We're on time for a change. Andy's not around, so you'll see that worked out well. And Ray Dickinson's not around as well, so that's why we're basically on time, because normally we're waiting 15 minutes for him to turn up, which was a big thing. Good evening. Welcome out to the forum. It is a Monday night. I am, of course, your host, Phil Casey. Alongside me on this side here is Ray Brady. Below me here is Gar Breen. And then flicking it over that way is, of course, Ragnar Klavan, as you all know, the LFC's best four-choice centre-back until Nat Phillips turned up at the door and started kicking down people left, right and centre. This is the forum. Hit like, smash, hit the tube, hit the computer, hit the television, hit whatever you want to do. Like it, tell your sister to like it, tell your ma to like it, tell Alison to like it, tell everyone to like it, but just like it and get out there and get the message out there. Tonight, we do our 4 topics. Gav put out the thing about the topics earlier on. I can't remember, so I'll have to look at that at some stage to figure out what it is. But from memory, Ray wants to know why it's always us. Shane wants to talk about goalie scoring goals, and Gar wants to talk about Trent and how great he is, and I want to talk about how big of a bunch of wimps you all are. So that's basically the story. So
well said, bud.
I've been practicing this all week long. I was going to jump up and take my top off because this is what people have to, I suppose you have to do if you want to get attention on YouTube these days. Is just make a show of yourself and pretend that you're a big super fan by making an absolute show of yourself.
Then say you're leaving.
Then I'm going to leave and then come back again, and then leave and then come back again, leave and then come back again, leave and then come back again. It's the hokey cokey. I'm going to leave today, come back tomorrow. Right. So where are we? It is, of course, the forum. It is the 4 topics. It's what you want it to be. So I'm going to start off with Ray's topic. It is, of course, why always us. I think the premise behind this is anything that's going to be mental is going to happen to Liverpool Football Club. And Ray, take it away.
Yeah, so I just jotted down a few things, and I was just saying it to a few mates on WhatsApp groups and just talking about, like, after what happened yesterday. And just saying, is it rose-tinted glasses because we're obviously watching our own team, but the amount of sort of mad shite that's happened to us, mad, crazy, unbelievable stuff from results to actual individual incidents. Like take for example what happened yesterday with Alisson, but like going back to 05, a game we'd no right to win, absolutely mental. The Chelsea game, the semi-final in 05, the same, no right to be there. Gerrard's goal against Olympiacos, same thing. Gerrard slip, all these monumental things. Dortmund in 16, Alaves in 2001, the beach ball, the Barcelona semi-final, the 5-4 Norwich. There's just all these like mental huge things that seem to be so much bigger than shit that's happened to other clubs. So is it just us, or is it just because we're staring at our team?
But it's your topic. What's your take?
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but we're always involved in fucking madness. It doesn't seem to go a year. It wouldn't go a full season when something fucking mental happens. I don't know. But like, I mean, the European stuff we used to put down to this is there's something special happens and Champions League nights at Anfield. It's not just Champions League like that starts happening on Europa nights as well. So I don't know. Is it just us? This is what I want to do. Is it just me thinking this? Do you think Ray it's just mad? This probably happens to every other fucking team, and we're just not watching them as often as we watch our own team. What is it?
Shane, what's your take? Is it just us, or is it just because everyone feels this way about football in general?
Do you know what? Just like off on a slight tangent with it at all. I'm of the age, right, 38, where there's when I was going through secondary school and everything, right, where all the football banter and all is biggest. United are winning the league every year. They were winning everything. So for all intents and purposes, in the sporting sense, they kind of ruined everything for me going through school because they were the best team. And I always kind of thought back to all their last minute winners and stuff like that in the league. But when I was just kind of thinking, I was actually thinking of it with the game. I was talking to my brother with the Alisson header yesterday. I'd say the amount of messages that were written out ready to press send right in the 94th minute before that corner went in from United fans, mainly United fans, because let's be honest, we're over where we are here in Ireland. It's United and Liverpool. But when you think about it, right, they obviously had 99 where they get the 2 late goals and all that, but Ray is after listing off a load of things there where, like, just big moments. We were, like I said to you, United were winning everything going up when I'm in secondary school, they were the best team. But there was really massive moments where something turned for them, where they had to, you probably might think in the Makeda one recently that cost us the league that time when we were going with them under Rafa, big moment like that. But when Ray is after listening off all the things, I would say, and it's not something that dawned on me really until fairly recently, mainly due to the fact that I always was kind of thought back on, United used to do it all the time, winners here, fucking this, that, and the other. But they were the best team, and they were out in front winning leagues. But the major moments and big, like Ray, as I said, European games and stuff like that, he's after listing off a heap of stuff there that other fans, like I said, United, because it's over here, but other fans of all other fan bases must be shaking their head going, fucking hell, they're after doing it again. Whereas when I was growing up, or if I was thinking back, just glancing back at it, I would have thought that, nah, it's always United. Liverpool never really go through them big moments and all that. But Jesus Christ, it's like when Ray lists them off, there is some amount of them, and it must be kind of fucking heartbreaking. Because I believe you and me, I'm telling you now, there was messages fucking ready to hit send, and just before that corner was whipped in yesterday, I guarantee you. And we were getting rinsed because what kind of laughing stock would you?
Yeah, you know, on some of the emails, exactly, you can withdraw your email maybe before it's read. Take it back. Exactly. You can imagine take back. Please come back with them sales bastards. Got to do it again.
Going to Old Trafford and like winning, like it should have been more comfortable when they had that purple patch in the second half, and we had that purple patch. But imagine going to Old Trafford and winning, and then drawing a relegated West Brom to follow. That's just laughing stock stuff. So, but look, listen, we pulled it out of the bag, and Razor said, "Yeah, listen, we don't do anything easy. It's all forever madness."
Gar, what's your take? Is it always, are we the Mario Balotelli of football clubs, or is it just because we pay so much attention to it?
No, I think there is a certain fairy tale / nightmare that goes with being a Liverpool fan. I think Ray's nearly touched on. I don't know if you said the beach ball. You've got Suarez's bites. You've got, now obviously United have the Cantona thing, which slightly evens that out. But Suarez
Palace away, the Istanbul.
Yes, there is a certain uniqueness, and Ray touched on the Champions Leagues now, and the whole euphoria that goes with Liverpool in Europe. But Jesus Christ, we've had some mad stuff go on. And then if there's anything to go, boy, the lads have just touched on it. Just look at our WhatsApp group at 92 minutes yesterday. the less said, the better.
Well, yeah, is that what it's all about? Is that what it's all about?
100%, yeah, it is, yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's, even,
come on, Phil, I can see you shaking your head there. Get in.
Even we torn at times, like, it's great. Yeah. That's why we love football. See, we're lucky as Liverpool fans.
Well, Phil, come on now. Look, you believe we all live in a simulation like the Matrix. So what are we saying? There's a glitch. There's Mr. Anderson is popping up every time Liverpool play and calling me away. What's happening?
Because we do live in a simulation, like you're basically just you are proving Yuri Geller right. So we as Liverpool fans since 1989 have lived in the dogged determination for if some weird shit's going to happen, some weird shit's going to happen. Ever since we lost 2-0 at home to Arsenal, that we could have afforded to lose 1-0 at home to win that league. Ever since John Barnes didn't take that ball into the corner. This is the Mandela Effect in full effect, right? If John Barnes takes that ball into the corner, everything that goes on from there on out doesn't happen. We don't have all these moments. And there's so many moments. We're not even talking. Like, there's actually so many moments. And I'll go, like, think about Karius's head calamity in the Champions League final alone. Yeah. If that happened to one club, right, that would be like a decade's worth of mad shit, right? But it didn't. It all starts in 89, because before that, Liverpool were pretty much a machine and just won leagues and won things, and the mad stuff didn't really happen. Yeah. You had, apart from Saint Etienne in the 70s, you don't hear of these mad games where it just happens. Like, this mad shit just happens to them on the pitch. Whereas now, you're waiting for the mad shit to happen. Because we've taught this into existence. This is where I go back to the Yuri Geller. We're expecting this stuff. After 89-90, we win the league. After Kenny leaves the club, right? At that point, we're just expecting the bad stuff to happen. Souness comes in and we finish second in the league and we expect to go on and win the league next year. Then the club disintegrates. And then we have everything that happens right away up until last season. And everything that happens up until last season is basically the longest running episode of Dream Team. What we don't realise is up somewhere in Alpha Centauri is the camera
Don't get
set
Davo
up.
going. Davo Station's thinking Linda Block already.
Set up on Liverpool Football Club. There's a massive.
Is thinking about Fletch.
This is like intergalactic neighbours, right? They're just constantly think about the storytelling, talking about the stories that have been going on. It's basically the Dream Team, right? So there's been madness, there's been racism, there's been bitey stuff, there's been
let's not forget, go back to 96, the white suits, even Robbie Fowler sniffing the lion.
Sniffing the lion, right?
It's always even madness with us.
David James decides 1 week to stop using his hands because he'd been playing the PlayStation too much.
Right? Meanwhile, being Armani's biggest model at the time, like it was fucking mental.
It just doesn't stop. I know Grobler talks about, like, the lads are saying that the witch doctor that put the course on is Jordan Grobler's testimonial. Yeah. Everyone is talking about this. It doesn't come close. You would have had to have 400,000 witch doctors to come on and put that level of stuff that's on it. It's on.
And then Grobler with the booms. Remember, Grobler was taking the back and then Goldscore.
Yeah. It's like
the Arsenal fans waving the money at him.
I could have got about bleeding 4 Phil's cap pages out of this. I should have put more effort into this.
Ben, this is a fantastic one. The beach ball lads. How many games have you ever seen? How many games have you seen since where the beach ball drifts onto a pitch, right? Drifts onto a pitch and it hits the beach ball. Not only does it drift on or get in the way of somebody, it hits the beach ball and goes in and changes direction. A beach ball can't change anything in direction. You can throw a wet paper bag at a beach ball and the beach ball will bounce away, right? It doesn't, like, it's impossible. The laws of physics were broken the day the beach ball goes in the goal. It can't happen. It just can't. So, yeah, it's a setup. We're basically living. We're like when you see Sims and you just see people walking around randomly in the Sims game, right? That's what we are. We're just the background noise to this intergalactic football show that's going on for Alpha Centauri. It's top of the ratings it is every week. Why else would we be in the middle of the ESL? We win the league. Like that campaign last year in the league, that's dream stuff. That never happens.
Here's one on an even sadder note that I didn't even touch on there that I should have said. Liverpool wait 30 years to win the league, and when they do it, there's no fucking fans there to see it. I mean, come on. Like, you couldn't write that. You could not write that. Steven Gerrard, one of the best players to ever don the fucking jersey, slips and causes us not to win the fucking league.
No.
Stop it.
Stop it. Ray, let's get it right. So the script was written that he stays in 2 weeks beforehand. We don't let this slip in front of the cameras. Television screen.
Yeah.
Right. We don't let this slip.
Yeah, but on the flip side of them, like you're spot on, Milan and Razor. But what about the games where we've come back and we've had no right to win games? We're behind 2-0 in an FA Cup final to an own goal and another scramble.
Exactly. Where the West Ham one as well.
Yeah, exactly. Stefan Anshaw pulls off a worldie against Arsenal at the near post with a save with his left hand against Arsenal. We go on and win that game. The West Ham game, we're 2-0 down. We go on and win that game when there's 5 seconds left and Gerrard just hits him 45 yards because he's cramped up. You've absolutely the Dortmund game, Lovren, they're cruising on away goals and everything. And what do we need?
The golden goal.
Alaves, goal and out. Like, it's just, I'd say with our fans, like the WhatsApps have been going around about them Evertonians sending WhatsApps around, and like you're listening to them going, like apart from some of the disgusting shows that's thrown in, but I can tell you one thing, I'd say half of them are throwing that tellies out the window yesterday at bleeding after the 95th minute.
But even at that, think of Gary Mack's goal in the Merseyside derby. It's a running theme. It's a running theme. Like this, I go back to that's why it's a TV show. This is a running theme. It's a reoccurrence. It's like Roadrunner and the Coyote. every now and then the coyote catches Roadrunner and then eventually gets away. So
like, you reckon though, if we had opposition fans on, that they'd be able to pull up even half of what we have? Because I don't. I think from a United point of view, like Davo said, it's predominantly Liverpool United fans here in Ireland. Yeah, you know, with a scattering of others. But from a United point of view, you'd point at maybe Kane's tackle on Haaland, Cantona jumping the fence. Maybe even the PSG game there a couple of seasons back. But remember Bruce
scored that goal in 1994.
And the slide, but then you're struggling. Yeah, I'm struggling then after that. And the Champions League final, obviously.
Champions League final,
but you're struggling really for these standout moments that got 4 pages in the media type of thing. Do you know what I mean? That seem to just follow Liverpool around every
lads, you're missing one. You're missing a glorious one.
Which one?
What's that?
A coin getting thrown at Carragher. He thrown a coin back at 10,000 people thinking he could hit that one person that threw the coin.
He scouts, he sound, he throw you back up, Carragher.
But even that Champions League run in 05, right? We draw Juventus, we're 2-0 up. Like, that was a game we were like, Liverpool are not favourites. We're so outsiders in that game against Juve. We go 2-0 up. Scott Carson throws one in. You're all thinking, Jesus Christ, we have to go to Juve now. They get 1 goal, they're 3 away goals. They absolutely pepper the goal for 90 minutes and we somehow come out with a 0-0 and go through.
But think of the Barca. What year was it? Did we play Barcelona and Egel? What was your man's name that used to play for Chelsea? The Icelandic dude, blonde hair.
Johnson. Yeah.
Do you remember he goes in and he slots the ball past the goalkeeper and it somehow bobbles past the post? Like, that's just...
Yeah, or it did Nou Camp when bleeding every defender went up the pitch at 3-0 and they broke down and then Dembele scuffed the shot into Alisson's arms. Yeah. That goes 4-0. That goes 4-0. It's a sitter. He misses that 3-0.
I agree with Norman here. The only other club that I can think that has any type of correlation to where insanity is probably Arsenal. Right, because they do have, like, I can think of loads of mad Arsenal moments, but mainly failure moments. Ours is a mixture. Ours is a perfect blend for a person watching because there's the ups and downs. We're a roller coaster club, right? So, and I don't mean roller coaster as in like Newcastle getting relegated and promoted and relegated and promoted. I'm talking in terms of being at the top of the game, not always winning, but always being a threat within 5 years. No matter how shit we are, you look at Hodgson. From Hodgson to 2015. We go and we almost win a league title, then we can't finish in the top 10, and then we're in the Europa League final. Like, this is Liverpool. It's like we go from almost being bankrupt to winning a League Cup with Kenny, thinking that the 1980s were back again, to being absolutely abjectly shy, to almost winning the league, to being absolutely abjectly shy, and then going back to the Europa.
What about the UEFA just inventing the rule? Head bollocks. Liverpool have won the Champions League and they didn't qualify. We just invent something to squeeze them in. Just get an extra team in there. Like, it was mental. Honestly, this is fucking crazy. The more you think about it.
So if you're writing a script that wanted to keep people pulled in all the time, right? If you're writing it, what's going on at Liverpool is the perfect way of writing a television program that keeps people in, because we win just enough to keep everyone on board that we're a big club and that we're relevant, right? And we go shite just enough for everyone to feel like that there's an underdog story at play as well. And we also go shite enough for all the other fans to be able to throw enough stick at the fans of Liverpool, so is that when we win, it's twice as bad, and when we're about to lose, it feels twice as worse than it actually is going to be, because we know the amount of abuse that's coming our way. It's a fucking simulation. Tell you, it's a television program from Alpha Centauri. This the only way I can do it. It's Dream Team, Dreamio, Teamio. It's like the Japanese lads out there, but joysticks and stuff controlling the lads on the pitch at this stage. I give up. It is what's happening. So I think it's time that we go with Ray. I think it is always us, mainly because we're a simulation. It's not real. None of it's real. So you can just see you later, girl.
Yeah, all the best, bud. I was just reading Freeworld's comment there about the beach ball and the thing. Like, he's obviously no recollection of the Ireland games back in the late 80s when we used to go with an inflatable shamrock and an inflatable banana. Yeah, do you remember the banana? Had no correlation to football whatsoever.
Just inflatable bananas.
Yeah, like seriously. Stop it.
Jake
You
and the
have to send
Shamrock.
away packets of our tags off your packets of Jacob's biscuits to get your fucking
Shake your Shamrock in Italy. We've always known you're out there, but now thanks to Jacobs, we're nowhere. Remember Mick McCarthy?
I was about to say that's a shit Jack Charlton.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was Mick McCarthy.
Australian, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, just out north of Perth, slightly north of Perth. Right, where were we? So so we've reckoned the simulation and it's all making up. Right, on to the next one, and it's a very valid point. And the reason why we need to talk about simulations and insanity is because what we will need to discuss next is the definition of mad moments. So Shane, I think we were going to discuss goalies scoring goals, but we may as well start off with goalies having been better ahead in the ball than all our centre forwards put together because and midfielders. It's outrageous. So it's the only thing we're talking about. Let's go through it. Alissons Goal yesterday. It's inspirational stuff. I heard they're sending Alisson out to Gaza and Israel to bring peace amongst them at this stage because it's like this type of stuff just brings you tears to your eyes. So go on, take us away.
Listen, I tagged you in a message in the WhatsApp yesterday. I said, Phil, that's an absolutely fucking outrageous header. And you said, yeah, it's scandalous. It's like Nat Phillips does a better job than any defender and putting them off, and he still manages to to fucking bullet that header into the top corner. It's absolutely scandalous. When you see the keeper jogging up as normally making use of themselves, I can't remember too many keepers going up even getting a touch. And to pull that header out of the bag, but listen, his interview and everything after, I think I don't think Shawnee said it last night. Bring a tear to a glass eye, and if you have any heart at all, it would go out to him having to, particularly with COVID, not being able to go home and grieve for his father. But to listen, there's still work to do for the top four. But it was dead. We would have had people coming on going, if buts and maybes, if this happens and that happens, we might still be able to get a draw yesterday, and it's dead. And to pull that header out, it was come out today, wasn't it? The first goalkeeper ever scored in a competitive game for Liverpool, which is a bit of a mad stat. I can't get over that. It's a bit mad. I know you would have thought one maybe.
I know we're going to go down and start having a discussion around goalkeepers that score goals, right? But the difference with this for me, the big difference for me, it's a bit like when Neuer scored a couple of goals in Germany, or Schmeichel scored a couple of goals. You saw one, I think he scored for Villa, and one he scored in Portugal, right? Is that normally the goalkeeper just runs towards the ball like a big, huge, mad battering ram, right? And it hits him and it crashes across the line. It's like when you see fellas just legging it in ice hockey and just crashing over the goalkeeper and just getting the ball across the line. The goal goes flying and everything, right? This was a finesse header. It's stupid. It's like, and it's not even to the back post where he can come racking himself on and plowing his head through the ball and putting as much power. This thing is all about up, finesse, I'll change direction and ping it across the goal into the side netting, because even I had to look at it about 4 times. Every time I'm waiting for him to power the header straight into the top corner past the goalkeeper. That's what I'm waiting for. Like when you see it coming over, you're waiting for him to come in and burst the net and burst the goalkeeper. But no, I'm just going to turn direction, lads. I'm going to stick it back across. And as much as people are talking about Nat Phillips trying to put him off, if you watch it from that angle, both of them do the exact same motion, except Phillips is about half a second slower. You can just see it's both of them are going for the exact same header. Like I think if it lands,
you can hear the big slot noise from Phillips as he goes to win it, misses it. Alisson killed as he could back.
I just it's just there's no words for it. Yeah, there's no, like, you just look at it and you just go, this is poetry. It's exceptional. And you see what goes, like you saw all the videos, there's lads putting on stuff and you just, there you go, for fuck's sake, be real here. Like, you don't need to put on, you actually don't need, there's a fella, an Irish video that's knocking about, I think, from TikTok. I think one of his shared it earlier on, and it's hilarious because it's the truest reaction of all. He's just screaming his head off laughing at scoring, and then how do you say, the fucking goalkeeper scored it. Like, that's It's the only reaction.
I was waiting for him to jump over. At the moment he's in an apartment on the balcony, I was waiting for him to hop over the balcony or something. I thought it was one of them way to the end.
He's straight over the balcony with a beard, and his mot is taping him while he's screaming, and he just literally and then turns into the camera. The fucking keeper scored. Just pure raw emotion.
But it's perfect. You don't need the fake emotion. You don't need the fake whipping tops off and stuff like that. It's just the elation in itself. I saw, I'm not allowed to mention other podcast names, but since they're friends, I saw the Anfield Rap lads when they were doing the hot mic, and when we score, like that's hilarious. There's about 6 or 7 of them about to do a podcast after the hot mic thing, and you just see people running all over the shop because there's no reaction. There's nothing in mentally that has you prepared for the goalkeeper scoring. You expect it to come up and you expect nothing to happen out of it. But then
and
and add the timing of it in as well. You have to say, like, I mean, late goals are probably the best feeling in football, and likewise the worst if you concede one. But to make a goalkeeper and so late in the game and so much
shithead played on then after the tip off.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Games like, what are you doing? I used to blow the thing up. It's over. Like it's gone over the fucking time, and he still lets them hoop the ball down. The fucking wanker.
Do we think now Alisson will end up with more goals than Richarlison, or is Richarlison safe with his 6 goals?
I reckon Alisson hasn't he?
Yeah, he's only got 5 to get between now and at the end. But lads, it's mad. But on goalkeepers, like, if you're going to back Alisson to score in a football match, Gar, what would you have gone for? Now, like finesse header cross goal into the side net, and it's probably not even going to be on your list, but what would you have gone for?
No, we'd have gone from he's prone to travelling up towards the halfway line. The first time me and my young lad went to watch him Phil, remember I went to Rome at that time. He just hung around the halfway line for the whole game. He actually made 2 clangers in that game. And the centre forward went by him and scored on both of them because he was so high out. But I would have thought it would have been one of them ones, Phil, that was just pinged back to him, and he just pinged it and over the head of a keeper. But Jesus Christ, a corner, for fuck's sake, like it actually didn't make sense.
I go back, Davo, goal scoring goalkeepers. Like there's not many of them that scored a regular basis.
You came close, didn't you? I heard around me. You did come close, didn't you?
Outside of penalties, I scored 3 goals from open play. So, but again, classic goalkeeper goals.
Playing in goal.
Yeah.
Or were you playing outfield?
No, playing in goal.
You scored 3 goals. That's good. That's
good going.
That's good going, Phil.
Phil was playing against under 5s.
No, I scored 1 in the FAI Cup first round. Against Carrigaline United. It was a free kick on the edge of my 18-yard box, and I pinged it the length of the pitch and caught the keeper on the hop, and he got a touch in it, and I went in, and it would have been ruled out only for the fact that he touched it because it was an indirect free kick. So then I scored another against Bluebell. Their keeper came up from a corner. I did the opposite to Alisson. Their keeper came up from the corner, and I just went for the corner for mad, caught it, and then just pinged it the length of the pitch and crossed the line. And then the other one was a free kick. So.
You know Spud, don't you, Phil? You remember my mate Spud? He would have been, so he used to take free kicks now and penalties. Obviously, you're not going to count penalties, but he took free kicks for the team. He would have scored a few now.
Shane, you had a ping on you as well, but like, it was always in my head, it's all like Paul Robinson pings the ball the length of the pitch and it goes in over the top of the goalkeeper. That's your classic goalkeeper goal. Yeah. It's like or a free kick taker.
And the header, like you're saying there, that header yesterday, they don't really happen. Paul Robinson got one in the League Cup, a great header. Like the Schmeichel ones, that one I seen today, the Villa one dropped him. There was lovely technique to volley it. To volley it in. Brad Friedels as well was a tap in. Begovic and Howard were 2 hoops down the pitch that caught the wind. You had to go up and get a clean header. Robinson's is a lovely header as well. That's in the League Cup. I don't know who it was for Leeds in the League Cup. But and then like I know we're going to talk about with our keepers. You generally have to go down to South America then for the archetypal South American goalkeeper.
There's one in Scotland a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
Your man came up for Rangers in the cup semi-final against Rangers, and he got a free header and headed it down. Your man tapped it in. He didn't score himself, but it was like he should have scored. He made a ball to the header, but your man just tapped it in. But then you go to South America to Chile and Rogerio.
Always had the mad ones,
Rogerio scored something like 200 goals or something.
I had a look today because there's no real research. It's just a bit of crack for the viewers as well to bang a few comments in. But I had a look, and that year that they beat Liverpool played Sao Paulo in the World Club final after winning the European Cup in 2005, and he played for them, Rogerio Ceni. That season, he scored 21 goals in all competitions. 21 goals, free kicks and penalties in all competitions. That is, I think he finished his career with 65 goals. That's fucking outrageous.
But he was a penalty taker. But the big one was the
free kicks.
And a good few of them have mentioned it. Kev and a couple more mentioned it. The Jimmy Glass one for Carlisle. That's the one that I was up until I think that goal yesterday. The one that moment, that English moment of the goalkeeper scored an important goal was Jimmy Glass. If we managed to get Champions League football, that goal, the importance of that goal yesterday, cannot be underestimated. And it's still for me, it's still a huge if, because I know it's only 2 games and you have to go and win 2 games.
We've lost Phil.
That's something, isn't it?
Phil went full stroke there.
I could see rounding circles all over the place. It's like, I'm off. Look now. I hope you recorded the sound. You can listen back to it.
Look at the spirits. The spirits in the room.
It's a simulation. I fucking told you now, Ray. What did I tell you? Simulation. We managed to touch it. It's after being beamed back to Alpha Centauri, and they hit the pause button because they need to delete that part. Be like the Burlington Bears tomorrow. They would just delete out all that simulation part. That won't work. Well, we go. Well, that'll go down as Alisson's greatest save in a Liverpool. That's a great show, Ben. Yeah, if we get through, that will be the greatest save in his career. But lads, on it. And let's talk about Alisson, I suppose, Ray, because I know, Shane, you said there wasn't a dry eye in the house. We can talk about goalkeeping, but in reality, the interview seemed to store an awful lot of people.
I mean,
more so than the goal itself.
Yeah, big time. It's the full package, like I said. So add up what was worth at the start inside the game, the football itself. Late goal, the goalkeeper score, and possibly putting us towards Champions League, and then for the interview then to come after it. I would have just summed it up by the fact that BBC actually just showed Sky Sports interview, and it's the first time I've ever seen them doing that. But they literally just showed the interview. It was that powerful. It was that good. It was that I don't know, that touching. They realised they weren't going to top that. There was no point talking to him with their own reporters. Just show what he said to Sky. And Jesus, it was a lip quiver, a tearjerker, whatever you want to say. But you'd want to be fucking have a serious hate for Liverpool and all things Liverpool now if you didn't get a little bit emotional listening to that after the year he's had, you know. I could see you feel fuck off. Phil's already just thinking about red zone. I'm in the middle of nearly crying over Alisson.
I'm just thinking about how Justin Fields played in minicamp.
I mean, like I say, it's I don't know how you couldn't be moved with it. You know, after what's happened, it was powerful. Yeah.
And here, see Kevin Ball's comment there down at the end, right? The VAR one about VAR crying they couldn't rule it out. It seemed on the replays of it, it seemed to take Moyteen a while before he put his hand up towards the halfway line. It was like he was taken by surprise, going, "Is the keeper at the score there? Is this a goal? What's going on here?" It seemed to take him fucking 10 seconds to put his hand out to say goal.
But
you know what I mean? This is crazy.
But can I just also, we'll get into it on my topic, but like there's the whole thing about VAR and stuff like that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But ultimately, when you look at what goes on yesterday, that's the first moment this season that's felt anything like last season. And I'll go back to the ones that jumped at me. And now it's special because Alisson scores. But remember Firmino's goal against Aston Villa about the 97th minute of injury time, that when we were 1-0 down with 5 minutes to play and we come back and win that game 2-1 on our way to winning the league last year. And then the Klavan goal, the year that we got back into the Champions League with Klopp. The mad Klavan goal where he just bundles the ball over the line. Like Klavan's goal against Burnley is more akin to what you expect Alisson to score. And Alisson's goal is more what you would have expected Klavan to score as a centre-back than the other way around. If the goals were reversed, you'd say that's absolutely perfect. But like, I agree, Mr. Slackler. Alisson's goal has to be Puskas contender for me. It's definitely probably the greatest goal we're all going to witness this season. Right, moving along, because there's been a few comments that have come in. And a key part of that goal, of course, was Trent Alexander-Arnold's delivery. And a key part of what went on throughout the day was as a result of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Danny Murphy, the absolute fucking shite-hawk, seemed amazed that Trent Alexander-Arnold is some type of playmaker for Liverpool. What a fucking weapon. Like, the fella is...
What a word shite-hawk is. I fucking love it.
I know, but like, seriously...
Brilliant word.
The amount of bilge that fella speaks and he's paid for it is just beyond. Like, what you lads to be putting in things talking about such and such said something on this, and I'm just like going, honestly, that's just like termites for your brain. Turn it off, because that's how it is. Like, to be fair, the amount of English people that watch post-match football debates and stuff like that, and you look at the people that are talking about, that's how they all end up voting Tory all the time. Like, there has to be a reason. There's a correlation between football punditry and really bad politics and livelihood. Like, and it's clear. The worse the pundits they get, the worse the standard of life is for everyone around it. And like,
I think it's got worse this year, man.
Yeah, it has.
Fans, their voices have been elevated. But maybe I wasn't paying as much attention to it because the amount of spoofers, all I can see now every time I look at the telly is being a good footballer or playing professional football does not equal you having a great opinion on football. Because some of the worst shouts I've heard are from fellas playing football. Fellas that they'd make a comment on the player and don't even know what position he plays in. You can tell they haven't even watched the game. The spoofing, the shite that they come out with is fucking unbelievable. Absolute bollocks, like, and you're saying, are you fucking winding me up? Or you originally liked Carragher and Neville on Monday Night Football when they started talking tactics and the board was out. And I really got into it, but it's gone more and more about them. And I hear it, I'm shut fucking up. Really, just shut fucking up. The lot is just watch the game and fucking let it go. And like Phil says, it's getting to a stage now where at the start of the game you're hearing who's commentating and you're going looking for any other options to watch it somewhere else, so that you don't have to listen to X, Y, or Z, whether it be Jennings or McManaman or whoever you might have a particular dislike to. But there's so many where you're just saying, shut fucking up.
Gar, you're involved in coaching and you have an education about the game and you know you have a bit of tactical mouse about you. So it's like
football,
football man. He's a football man. There's only 3 football men, and Gar's one of those football men. But like, I know we're going to get into Trent Alexander, but you can't sort of ignore one without the other, right? So I'm going to ask you, right, on the pundit side, how angry do you get listening to these clowns spew the crap that's coming out at the moment? Because you're not learning anything about the game, are you?
No. As Ray just touched on, I used to love sitting watching after Monday Night Football. You divulge for 45 minutes of, you know, how they think managers' mindsets work and things like that. Now it's gone off the wall, and you're having to listen to lads like Cunningham. You know, his comments a while back about Fabinho, and you're going to yourself, he actually turned up at their club one day, Phil, and me and Keith Plunkett. I think Keith Plunkett had to hold me back at one stage, and I had to hold Keith Plunkett back at one stage. He was on the same AstroTurf as I said, lads, Keith, we're going to get in trouble here. We better just walk away, because you haven't. And you know, I don't mind Brian Kerr, but even him at times when you're watching European games, everyone wants him to be the head of Irish football, but even him at times you're going, geez, this is laughable. Keane is just there to be a laughing stock now, to just have a laugh with Richards, Michael Richards, it seems. We're like, where's the good punch gone?
And this is, Shane, I want to ask you, the Carragher and Neville, so I'm not going to be able to hold it back, right? Because we're going to get on to Trent now, but like the Neville thing today, it's not a topic, right? But him having an open letter demanding fairness in football, you absolute fucking hypocritical shite hawk of the highest order. Like, you are beyond reproach when it comes to this bollocks, right? You literally are bankrolling a team with championship wages in League Two. You're part of a conglomerate who have ESL'd the television rights for the Premier League. Now, we're talking about they had carried out the same action as they were complaining about around the ESL by preventing any new players coming in and taking a piece of the pie. And you have this petition being started about an independent fan review with an independent regulator. You are talking through your anus. They have only recently discovered in mice in Japan that in oxygen-deprived mice, they can learn how to breathe through their arse, right? Gary Neville is learned how to speak through his, because that's all I see when he's put on the fucking television, right?
And also, Phil, like, he's like the other corner or Pete or Liam, that's bankrolling Salford as well, is currently fucking ripping Valencia down bit by bit. He's told the fans, I'll do what I like with this club. Probably I suppose Atletico have overtaken them now, but probably one of the big three, big four in Spain, a massive club, huge fan base, great history. And he's just he's ripping them apart. Gary Neville's not... He's not talking about any of that stuff, and I think the one noticeable thing, I agree with everything you said there, Phil. Somehow now Sky and Carragher and all these pundits, BT and all, have been held to the saviors of football.
Lads, can I just say, sorry, did you see the reporter following Joel Glazer around the other day as Sky News reporter? And she says, are the fans just customers to you? Hello? You work for fucking Sky. You work for Sky. We're all customers to you, you fucking idiots. You've gone that far around, you've gone up your own arse. Stop it. Fuck.
Right, and then... But then, like, the one that, and I think the really, really noticeable thing on it is they're getting a lot of stick. Like Simon Jordan on Talksport, I'm not a big fan of his. Like, he's a big, like, Charlie Big Potatoes and all that, but he's not afraid to have a go. He's definitely not afraid to have a go. And he's called out Neville and he's called out Sky. He's working with Jim White there. You can see Jim White squirming the fucking chair across him anytime he goes after Sky, which he has done a lot since this Super League thing came out. And he's absolutely ripping fucking Neville limb from limb and all these. But my point on it is I think they're being told, Phil, there's nobody's to buy. There's nothing coming back. Neville is not going back. He's not answering back to anybody. Like, they're putting out statements today, or please vote, like the petition thing you said there, petition today and all that. If you click into the comments, it's just fucking abuse. 15,000 people fucking hammering them. Over Sky and everything. There's no, like, you get the odd one going, oh, listen, it's good, we have to start somewhere and blah, blah, blah. But it's mainly just people fucking hammering them over working for Sky behind the paywall, etc., etc. Valencia, bankroll, or Valencia, and then you've some saying Salford on wages. I think I have to read a little bit more into it, but Neville is behind. I think there's something going on with the Rugby League stadium in Salford about Neville trying to buy it, or he's involved with something like that. That the Rugby League and Salford aren't happy about, and Neville, this fella replied in, sign my petition to keep this stadium, and to be up like that. So listen, I think they've been told, listen, keep this a closed shop, we'll keep ramming it down their throat. They're after being bring in, the competition laws were waived in England, so Sky and all could have the same deal, just to make it handy and everything. During COVID, lads, we're the saviours, just give us the money. So listen, but they're all keeping storm as regard to, there's no debate. That's my point, really. That there's no debate with them. They don't want to know. They're just putting it out there, like you said.
I think it's a shame when you see media channels supporting this and pushing it, because they've left their brain at their door, and they basically become brain donors. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones is leading them up the jungle. And there's only one way this is going to end up, with a serious amount of egg on their face. Like, if you were sitting there and backing the Gary Neville campaign, chaired by Gary Neville, led by Gary Neville, I wonder who the independent regulator will be. Neville. If you get up there, right, there'll be like, that's exactly what's going to end up on your face. And you're going to be there smoking the Gary Neville brand of cigars, enjoying yourself at the top of the Gary Neville house, and while he's sitting there laughing at everything. I'll tell you the bit that drilled at home for me last week, and I said this about when you saw them all jumping to support the United fans when they invaded the pitch in Old Trafford and got the game abandoned the first time around. By the time they put the replayed match on, what were the United fans singing? all the anti-Liverpool songs as they turned up had nothing to do with the Glazers. Just the same shite that goes on. Football is tribalism. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about fairness. I want to destroy my rival. I want to see them ground to a pulp. I want to see United be liquidated and go out of business. That would give me the greatest laugh I've ever seen in my life, right? Honestly, it would be the happiest day if I saw United go bankrupt and go out of business. Like, it's not going to happen, but it would be. And I'm not going to lie about this, because there's not a single United fan out there who really and truly wouldn't enjoy seeing Liverpool going belly up, because it just removes that concern. Longer term, does it impact what you're watching? Maybe. But in reality, you would love to see it, right? It's bollocks. Football is tribalism. If you think you can get a leg up on the other team, you're going to take it. If you didn't, there would be a draft system in place for the players. There would be a fairness. There would be a spread of equity across all the leagues to make sure that every team would have an equal or fair opportunity to get to the top of the tree at some point. But it doesn't exist. The teams that are mainstays in the Premier League have almost made it such a position that those teams are unlikely to ever be relegated unless something disastrous happens, like in Everton, right? But in reality, that's what we're talking about. Teams at the bottom part of this are very unlikely to become mainstays in the Premier League at any stage, but they rely on the money that filters all the way down through this thing. And it's all about money, and it's all about overpriced money. When you get to it, if you step back and you're honest with yourself, the only thing that matters is how your club is run and where your club is going. And as long as we're on an upward trajectory as a fan group, we're happy. There's no talk today about FSG out and we need fan representation and stuff like this. Whether it's the right thing or wrong thing, there's no talk about it today. Do you know why? Because we have a fucking chance of finishing the top 4 and being in the Champions League next year. 3 weeks ago, it was the only thing we were concerned about because it looked like we were scraping to be in the Europa Conference. This is football. Fans only care about the now and the immediate. And that's exactly where we live. And that's why I know it seems a strange segue into this topic, but the reaction to the news that Trent Alexander-Arnold may not go to the European Championships today, to me seems a bit mad. Because as a Liverpool fan, I'm fucking delighted. He might be upset that he's missing out on a major championship, but Southgate's not going to be around for much longer. The fella's going to still end up with about 100 caps. And if it means that he's going to get a rest and he's one of the main fulcrums of our team, I'm fucking delighted with it. So, Gareth, where's your point?
I suppose you've nailed it in one, I suppose, there. But, we're looking at the kids. And a lot of people, we know the media are going to build the shit out of this. We as soon as he was dropped, they went on fucking cannon fodder for the kid. The kid is 22. He's played in 2 Champions League finals. He's won a Champions League. He's won a league. He's technically out of this world. His assist rate is inhuman for a right full. What more can you say about it? Now, listen, we go on to the England thing, but you think of it this year, lads, he's had to play beside a fucking mishmash of centre-half partners, right? You're trying to get used to that player that's playing to the left-hand side of you. And he's had to try and get used to a few in a run of bad form, in a run of come back from being ill as well. And if you look, since that game he was dropped, lads, I think it was Arsenal. If I'm right, it was Arsenal when he came back. There's the international break and then we beat Arsenal, didn't we? He's been unbelievable. And what's impressed me more, lads, is the defensive side of his game. I just looked today through where I suppose recoveries would be a big thing. Now, we know he plays quite high, but I go through the recoveries. His recoveries is at 243. Walker's is at 110. And Wan Biscuit is 177. The recoveries alone, that's outstanding, lads. So credit to the guy. He's done a lot of work on the defensive side of his game.
Is that winning the ball back, or is that a recovery? Is that a recovery run? He's done that run. He's made the run to get back around. But that's actually winning the ball back.
That's recoveries to win the ball back. From the stats I looked at, that's ridiculous. That is. His form, as we've seen his form, lads. We've seen what he can do for us as a side. Listen, he's not an out and out. He's not a right full. We all know that he plays as a right winger half the time. But the work he has done, on the defensive side of his game has been absolutely out of this world, lads. And for this debate to even be going on is fucking ridiculous. He's England's best right full. Walker is very good, but let's not forget he's in a side that are flying as well, and he's getting taken in and out of a side for another right full in Cancelo. So he's getting more of a rest at times as well. So, listen, I don't think there's any. This Kieran Trippier is very good, but we all know the way that Atletico play, lads. He doesn't have now. In fairness to him, he's got a good few assists this season. To be fair to him, but he doesn't play like he doesn't give you what Trent does, in my opinion.
And I would say I would be like if you think about it, like Gar mentioned the games he's been involved in, he must have been involved in the most big games in the last 3-4 years than any player in the England squad, maybe any not like apart from Henderson, maybe and stuff like that. He's played in 2 European Cup finals, winning one of them, and he's won a league. He's played against the best players. He's played against Mbappe, Benzema, Bale, all these fellas when they were hitting the heights. So like what's the issue here? Like I don't get the. Like he is course and distance in the top European competitions, and he's won games and he's course and distance against the best players. So like
Davo, there's a criticism from Southgate about the way he plays.
He's taking every box.
What I'm saying, there's a criticism from Southgate the way he was playing the last one, his form, etc. Southgate's an absolute hypocrite because he plays 2 defensive midfielders, so he has someone to cover that side. Should there be someone bombing on that right side? So he's a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
I'd go as far as to say I thought Trent's form was terrible by his own high standards early on the season. But he's improved. Look, from a Liverpool point of view, like Phil says, it's great. He's not if he doesn't go anywhere with England. From a football point of view, I think every other football manager in the world has taken Trent into the squad, and that's what I just couldn't imagine this. I don't know, this look for a stereotype. I mean, Reece James is Wan-Bissaka not there. What's
Trippier, Walker, Wan-Bissaka, and then Trent. That'll be the general four that go to right full.
Right, Reece James.
He'll be in that 5,
yeah. So I mean, so some of them are your more stereotypical right fulls, but I mean, like the word generational talent is getting thrown around for Trent, and that's what he is. But you'd bring him just to have him in the squad, even if he doesn't want to pigeonhole him as a right full. To not have him there is mental. Like I say, fuck it. From a Liverpool point of view, fuck it. You know?
I would agree, Ray. It's more of a thing that, like, listen, I don't know Trent from Adam. Like, you'd imagine, like, listen, he'd be devastated and not going. I don't give a shit whether he goes or not. It's good for Liverpool if he doesn't. But you know, he'd be gutted over it. But then he goes into next season with a point to prove. But listen, I don't know. Listen, Trippier is limited. Southgate seems to have some love in with him because he scored a free kick for England against fucking somebody in the World Cup or something like that. I don't know. But listen, if it should be Walker and Trent if you're bringing 2 out of them 5. That for me anyway. It should be them 2 if you're bringing 2 out of 5.
Yeah. Are you still talking about international football, or will I just keep going on with the Rubik's Cube at this stage? Fuck me.
It's more
could
Trent.
Not give rats monkeys about international football or whether Southgate brings bleeding Neville Southall to the World Cup. I don't care what turns. Who matters? International football is dead, right? The best thing they could all do is just retire from international football, get a good rest, get Sadio Mane onto a holiday, get him a nice week in the Seychelles or something like that so he can recharge his batteries. Hopefully he can learn how to kick a ball into the goal from 8 yards out, because that would really help us out for next season. On Trent Alexander-Arnold, lads, he's one of our best players in the team, right? If you're going to look at our squad, who are the 8 immovables? Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah, Fabinho,
Trent Robertson.
Like that's it. They're the lads. None of that. You're not. That's what you build this team around. They are your ultimates. They are football ultimate team lads, right? Anyone who doesn't understand that about Trent, it's like hard luck. You're the one that's losing out here. It's not us. You know what I mean? It's genuinely, it's not us. And if it's taken Danny Murphy 2 years to realise just how much of a playmaker Trent Alexander-Arnold is from the right-hand side, then that just shows you how far behind English ex-pros are and pundits are in terms of the way the modern game has gone. One of the biggest attacking threats for the best part of the last 15 years, won 4 or 3 Champions Leagues on the spin, Marcelo Salas. He's a left-sided version of Trent, but without potentially the delivery. Trent is Salas as a fullback with David Beckham's ability to deliver a ball. But this is the level of a player we're talking about.
Yeah. His ping is back.
If you can't fit him into your team, right, you are incompetent as a manager. You are incompetent as a coach, right? And that's the plain and simple fact. Even if you don't want to play him at right back, you could play him at right wing. You could play him as right wing back and put 3 centre backs behind him, so he doesn't have to have any real defensive duties, and you can just maximise his out attacks. We are talking about an elite level talent, and for the age he is, and for what he's won already, we're talking about a born winner, a Champions League winner, 2 Champions League finals, a Premier League trophy, a Premier League runners-up medal. This is a born elite talent who has had to cope with one of the toughest seasons that a footballer's had to cope with in terms of both from a mental perspective, because you could see that he struggled at times through the season. He's been without, when they went back to the amount of centre-back changes that have gone on, he's had the most centre-back combinations on that right-hand side over the left-hand side.
For about a month, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He also had COVID.
Yeah. And he done it, but against City, did he go off against City at the Etihad? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
he went off injured hamstring, I think, wasn't it?
Well, lads, we just touched on it a few minutes ago. He's been a victim of trial by bad pundits.
Yeah,
because they've constantly got on his back about defending. And don't tell me that Southgate isn't listening to these fucking idiots either. He's been a pure victim of trial by shit punditry, because
Southgate is one of these shitheads.
Yeah,
Southgate was a shit pundit before he basically licked his way to the England job. Like we're talking about a fella whose sum total of managerial experience has been a shit borough manager, and then being an under-21s manager, and suddenly is meant to be some doin of managerial coaching ability at the international level. He is a gimp. He has no clue as to what he's meant to be doing, right?
The big shit waistcoat gimp.
Ah, stop. He is the human form of bilge when it comes to football management. Like, this is what we're dealing with here. We're looking at a fella. Like, you look at.
Would you not think as well, though, that some of the forward players for England will be sort of almost dropping hints at Southgate, saying, "Man, please just bring him. Man, he's putting it on a play for us. That's what we're craving. That type of supply. There's no one else. There's no one else giving that to you in the fucking England team. Nobody is giving you what he gives you.
He's a muppet, right? He's a muppet, Bill. He's an absolute muppet, right? But like, he's just he's not with a con. Charlatan, right?
No, the one. No, Phil. The one where he's in the
studio. A young girl.
No. The one where he's in the studio and he just turns to me and Callan goes, "Where'd you get these two from? Where'd you get these two from?" The two boys want to hop over the desk at him.
But like, look at Jamie was writing words in the group earlier on, right? And it was about the England team. And I first of all, I was going to go in and go, would you ever go and jump in the bin when it comes to international football? But then, as we were thinking about the Trent thing, I was thinking, going, the potential England team that you could have if you had a half competent manager in charge of that England team, right? Because they've got great midfielders. They've got, for the first time ever, they've got a very strong attacking 11. And we're not talking about some type of lump the ball tandem up top. You could even leave Kane out of that side and play with a really fluid front three in terms of what they have. They have Sancho, they have Sterling, they have Foden, they have Grealish. They have genuine talent across the pitch, and they actually have a nice balance.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Just hearing you saying them names back, that's ridiculous.
And that's without bringing in kids like Bellingham and even Curtis Jones that we have as well. Like, they have a genuine balance in that team. By robbing Declan Rice and Grealish, they've actually, like, Ireland could be the world champions of the world in the world games, but they can't. So like, it's just bizarre, and yet people are going to spend so much time analysing Southgate's decision not to take Trent. Forget about that. Who cares, lads? Park the international football, take a breather, enjoy the sunshine over the summer. It's meant to be an outdoor summer, so just enjoy it. Go and have the fun and take a break, because there's been football on every 16 minutes this year for the last year since it came back, since the break. Every 16 minutes a football match is kicked off in England. Right, at the moment they're playing 3 seasons. 3 seasons, game 453. Right?
Sorry, right. I was doing it.
That's why you need to sort out your 16 seconds.
Stop clicking your fingers.
Like it starts. Think about it. It starts with Pickford. He's picking Pickford as a goalkeeper.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
He's no arms. Do you know what I mean? You'd be better off picking a donkey, an actual donkey, a real life donkey to play and goal because it'd have more effect over him. Anyhow, if you even attempt to consider the punditry on the Trent Alexander thing, just jump in the canal or something because it's not worth it. It might wake you up and you can realise. But don't jump in the canal if you can't swim. That'd be a very stupid thing to do. Do a nice bucket challenge. That'll sort of wake you up to what it is. Right, lads, I'm going to roll on for the last topic, which is my topic. And fear of offending about 50% of the people in the chats. I actually don't give a shit. So my topic is, and I'm going to ask you all first, Ray, this season, how has it affected you emotionally?
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely, how much of it is tied in results, but I would say if someone asked me that I fell out of love a little bit with the game compared to where I was, not totally, but wasn't enjoying it as much as I would. Games that we weren't used, that Liverpool weren't involved with, that I'd still always watch at home. I wasn't too pushed on whether I watched them or not. And I absolutely detest VAR, so that's pushed me towards not liking the game as much. So,
Shane, how's your emotions towards the season?
Well, they haven't been great since after Christmas, since we've been absolutely dog shit. But no, listen, I get your question. Listen, it comes down to the lack of fans for me. I thought there's been a huge difference in the League Cup game that City won a few weeks ago, having some fans there. The FA Cup final the weekend, although I didn't watch all of either game, which is kind of me going on to the answer a bit more. I'm just kind of, when it's not Liverpool, I'm struggling without fans, big time. Just can't. I do at times. Monday Night Football can be all right, kind of the hour before it, if they're not trying to play to the gallery too much. I remember a couple of months ago watching the first hour, and then I think it was Arsenal Newcastle or something like that. I just turned the match off. I didn't watch the match. I watched the first hour, the boys talking. Then I said, I'm just not looking at that because so to cut a long story short for me, Phil, the lack of fans is a huge thing for me, and I find it very hard to watch a game. It's not Liverpool with no fans there.
Gar.
Yeah, I think the lads just touched on a few things, and I suppose, and you touched on something a few minutes ago, Phil. We're seeing so many games now, and not as often as we used to. So you're having to watch West Brom play someone shit before you want to watch a decent game, and you're bound to sit down and watch it. Like
that was us who were playing there.
Yeah, well, it did mean in general. It didn't mean against us.
All right, okay.
But now that the fan thing has been a huge killer, and then VAR. Like I heard a player today come out and say he doesn't celebrate goals anymore. So if players are coming out with stuff like that, what does that tell us as a fan? That the players aren't even enjoying it anymore. So if we're hearing stuff like that from a player's point of view, I think it's a sad state of affairs where things are at the moment.
Okay, you lot are a bunch of crybabies, right? There is this bollocks that there was a podcast on it last week by us. The absolute stinks, right? You are talking through your arseholes. You may as well be talking like Gary Neville at this stage, right? The simple reality here is that there is no difference to any season, bar the fact that we were brilliant last year and we're fucking shite this year and you can't deal with it. That's all it is. You're a bunch of children. And that's ultimately, that's what we're looking at here.
In fairness, that was part of my answer.
Yeah, VAR. VAR.
You did say that.
VAR ruins the game. I'm so emotionally attached. I turn off telly, can't watch the matches. Why'd you turn the telly off? Because you didn't see your team win every bloody game that was on the bloody television. Last year, you couldn't turn the television off. You're addicted. You watched every piece of fan media that was out there, and all you're stuck with now is they're going, it's not really good. And recently, then suddenly, yeah, the fans are back in the ground, and it's such a better spec. No, it's not. Liverpool have started winning again. And that's why you like it. That's all you seem to like it, right? It's because Liverpool aren't crap anymore. If Liverpool were crap, you'd be sitting here going, I can't wait for the season to end. Just this thing won't the bloody end. VAR was there last year, and it was there the week before. Stephen Duffy, your cat twins, that's fantastic. But that doesn't are they emotionally detached? Are the twins emotionally detached?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So ultimately, you're just looking at fellas moan. Grown men moan because their team is crap, and they are looking for an excuse, an absolute excuse to what's going on. Right? It's nothing whatsoever to do with emotional detachment. It's the fact that you're a big baby and you should go out and buy Tina nappies and wear them around and put them on your head while the match is on because you're pooing your pants that we mightn't get through to the Champions League. Get a pair, stand up and be counted, right?
You give a super chat there, Phil. You need to put up the screen, do you?
Sorry, I think, yeah. I don't know what the super chat is, though. It's like there.
Oh, maybe it's blank.
Speechless. But
ultimately, that's your point.
Ultimately, this thing, I'm just so, like, I can honestly say from a point of knowledge, I am emotionally detached from football. I've said this many times in this podcast. I don't even, like, I watch the games on replay so to understand what's going on, to get a better understanding of how the team is playing and what it is. But if we lose a game, it doesn't impact me. If we win a game, it impacts me for about 5 minutes. And then when we win a game, it impacts me for 5 minutes. Shane, you were with me last year in the Camden when we won the league, and you lot were going mentalers for about 3 or 4. I left after half an hour. I enjoyed the celebration. The trophy.
You enjoyed the celebrations that much, or you were enjoying it that much. I wasn't in the Camden.
Yeah, there you go. So, and I went home. After about half an hour.
I was in my local boozer with my brother and my mate getting slaughtered.
You had such a good night there, Phil. You didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just went home, Ray. I don't even know who was there last year because it was just.
Well, here, Phil, I'm going to counter what you were saying, right?
Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
You've said what you said. Here's the opposite side to it. Are you honestly telling me that if given the option of the same thing, Liverpool winning, right, with no fans, and Liverpool winning with fans, that it's still just the same? No one's saying that it's not the same. It just is not the same. And even if you're saying that we're not into it just because we're not doing particularly well this year, given the option of the two, with fans in the stadium and fans not in the stadium, Liverpool winning on both occasions, you're going to prefer the fans in the stadium. It's less of a spectacle, it's less enjoyable, and VAR is a load of my bell cheers.
Ultimately, Ray.
Smegma.
Ultimately, Ray. Can I just say, ultimately, it doesn't really matter because it's about what happens at the end of the season.
Phil makes a point for 20 minutes and then just says, it doesn't really matter, right?
Because Ray, your bell cheese is emotionally attached to your brain at the moment because you're blaming everything on VAR. Right?
I hate VAR. Look, here it is on VAR. I don't care whether it's moving the game forward. I'm at the seat now with VAR and without VAR. I prefer it without VAR. I'm allowed to make my choice. Again, I've seen it both ways, and I don't care about it being the correct decision as was by a gee hair, which is an official unit of measurement in Ireland, by the way. A gee hair is an official unit of measurement. Right? But I don't care. The fact that you're waiting and have to wait to celebrate a goal.
Did you wait after Alisson scored? Did you wait after Alisson scored?
No, I went through the fucking window, but imagine getting pulling me back in. Imagine my missus running out into the driveway after me, say, Ray, get back in, put your top back on. The VAR's at the disallowing it in Stockley Park. Ask my bollocks. And the shit. It's fucking brutal.
Right. It's two separate things. Do you believe that? But it doesn't cause emotional detachment. In fact, it's causing a greater emotional detachment.
I don't believe
you. Come on, Phil.
I don't believe you.
Stop it. Listen, I've only been at the ground once and seen it. Liverpool Watford there 2 seasons ago when Mane had a goal disallowed. You jump up, you celebrate, and next of all, hang on, and you see all the players stop, and then you're looking at an LCD board to watch this big VAR image come up on screen. But
you don't need to worry about it. You're at home now. You're not at the ground.
No. That doesn't matter. The fact that you can't jump and instantly you're waiting for it to be ruled out. If once you take that out of the game, that you're on a steady fucking decline there. I don't give a fuck. Well, unless they get something that's literally half a second. You know, you were talking about a Hawkeye system that could be coming in, which might make a difference. But as of now, as it stands, it's pony. Absolute pony. I couldn't give a bollocks about it. Drawing lines like from a fucking Sega Mega Drive all over a screen to tell you someone's fucking nasal hair was offside. Piss off.
So you're
terrible. It's terrible.
Can I just point out, Ray, that you're not actually emotionally detached from the season. In fact, your emotion just isn't joy. It's anger at technology, and it's disappointment at not challenging for the league. You haven't emotionally detached from the league. You've just changed the emotional approach to what last year was joy and happiness.
You're not emotionally detached to either, Phil. You're not. You pretend to be, but you're not.
Honestly, Shane, honest to God,
Phil, like anytime. Well, you were saying there, I watch matches on replay. I don't watch them live. Like
because I do this. The only reason I do the podcast is because I enjoy talking to my mates on a Monday night. Yeah, has nothing to do with football.
You watched the Alissons Goal. You watched the game yesterday live. You're being fucking edgy for air off.
Can I say something, Shane?
I don't buy it. I just think you're pretending.
I haven't. Honestly, God, the last game I watched live was the home match against Real Madrid. I haven't watched the home match. I haven't watched the match live since.
So. But you're straight into the WhatsApp group after the games, knowing what's happening in the games.
No, I don't. I haven't even seen it. I'm just making it up. You can just throw anything in you want.
No, that's waffle. You
I don't get this.
Straight after that game yesterday, you knew all about fucking. You knew everything that went on in the game. So
because as simple as this, Shane, all you have to do is look in our WhatsApp group to see what happened during the match, and then based on the range of emotions, you know who's teetering on the edge of having a snap, and you just pick them and you throw something in that's really annoying during the game, and they go straight into it.
I 100% agree with that.
That's all I do.
No,
that's all I do.
I do not buy it. I do not buy that.
You don't have to buy it. Come over to me after next time the game is on, because I won't be here.
No, I'm not going over to your gap again. So I'll be fast or something of a walk.
I actually do need to come over to sort out a wall for us, so that's why I want to come over. I'm trying to bribe you to come over to do the gap.
The name's Bond, Polly Bond. I feel all Davo feeling cracks again. You couldn't write it. Fucking hero.
But I'd go back to it, lads. This idea that people have emotionally detached from the season this year is rubbish, because every single person that said they're emotionally detached from because of this season and because of what's going on are suddenly emotionally attached because we suddenly have a chance at Champions League football. It's bollocks. It's crybabyiness and not getting what you want. If you're not supporting in the good time, in the bad times, don't be not supporting in the good times either, right? So like you're either in or you're out. That's
I'm absolutely in. I'm fucking behind the couch when we're playing, going absolutely mad at Newcastle. I said it, and I've been on the pod since I was on before or after the Newcastle game. It's probably as low as I felt after the game in a long time. I wanted to fucking cry after we threw that, after getting lucky with VAR, and then we said, no, listen, we got lucky with that when we let you equalise again. My heart is fucking broken after that game. I'm emotionally invested in Liverpool. The rest of it, without the fans, other teams, football in general, don't really give a fuck. Liverpool want us to win a game of Tiddlywinks, Phil, and if we don't, I'm going fucking mad. Simple as that.
I'm glad you're a bit of that, Shane, and I want Ray to admit that he is not emotionally detached from Liverpool. He's emotionally pissed off.
I never said that. Yes, I never said
you
that.
Did.
I think I said
you did.
Emotionally.
Actually said it. Go back and watch this back, and you said emotionally. I've emotionally turned off from this league because of VAR. Right?
I've turned down. I never said turned off.
You're sitting there. Yeah, that's what you said. It's too late. You've already pitched out your tent, right? You're in the emotionally detached tent, and I'm going to start launching hand grenades at you this evening. Gar, you've got COVID there, so before you die on us, tell us now. Right? Are you sure?
Yeah,
I've ordered an antigen test. I've sent the leprechaun over with it.
Well, don't walk you. All right, thanks, mate.
That's all right.
Yeah, Phil, what's the story with the over 40s? We are getting a choice now of vaccines. I heard them saying.
Of course we are. That's because I'm in this group. I told you I'd sort it out.
You better read out that super chat or Gav is going to kill you.
The Karen. Karen Angela Brown says the persistent, terrible, biased pro-man punditry has been a huge turn off for me. Again, Karen, I think you're being a big child. The reality is that it has nothing to do with the punditry whatsoever. It's the fact that we haven't been playing well. If we were playing well, you wouldn't care about the punditry. You'd keep laughing at the shite that they come out with. And it's not just pro mank, it's just pro shite. Punditry in England is gick. Turn off the sound and put on a bit of music or something when you're watching the game on replay. But Gar, with your COVID there, right? Who are you emotionally attached or reattached, or are you emotionally removed from what's going on?
No, I've always been emotional. Davo will tell you that. Always been emotional. Even when we're playing shite, when playing great, I'm always emotional. Phil, I was trying to disturb you a few minutes ago. You've lived through all this shite since '89, right? So we went through that fucking pain together, right? Because we were quite near enough the same age. You're a couple of years older, right? And we've seen some fucking horrible times, and the two lads, yeah. So I don't understand how you detach yourself from games. I just don't understand that. You've lived through so much shite. We all that mad shit that we discussed at the start, that Ray discussed at the start, and they're saying you just detach yourself from games. Bollocks, a load of bollocks.
No, and I'll tell you why. Right, we completed football by winning the Champions League against Spurs, right? And that was the last time I felt emotionally invested in a match. I'm being 100% genuine about this, right? Watching us win the Premier League seemed to be the inevitability of what this team was going to be about. And it was wonderful to see, but it didn't feel like the previous season when we won that Champions League, because we seemed to right a wrong and we seemed to break a spell that we were just waiting for the shit thing to happen. Like
Phil, just read Joe and Griz's mate out there from the Sean.
If you're not emotionally invested in your team, you're not a supporter. Go and ask me left one. Yeah. No.
Davo's gone stalking on Facebook. See what the left one's like.
But I'd say something. I mean this genuinely. I felt it was easy for me to feel that way, right? Because winning the Champions League to me was a bigger moment in my time supporting Liverpool than any other moment. Given what had happened 12 months previous, normally it takes you a few years to bounce back and right a wrong that was there, right? And to go and do it against Spurs, the roller coaster campaign that gets us there as well. And then you've also got that league campaign, because as much as we walked away with the title last year, you could turn off at Christmas and we were so far ahead, nobody was catching us at that point, right? But that year, the level of emotional investment I had between the league campaign with us having to match City game for game from January onwards, plus the Champions League campaign, and then looking like we weren't going to win any trophy, then getting to get like in terms of the semi-final against Barcelona, turning that around, getting to the final, and just absolutely proving once and for all that we were the big moment team. That to me was completing it. That was finishing Grand Theft Auto. Do you know what I mean? That was the moment, that bit where the credits just roll, and whatever happens from here is grand, because I'm never going to be stuck. I'm never going to fear of what went on before. And then seeing us winning the league, that's it. It's over. At that point, what's gonna do? I watched us come around from over a 30-year barren spell, and just seeing it was great. That's it. Now I don't have to go to my grave worrying would I ever see Liverpool win the league title again. Haven't seen us win so many in the 80s to now not have to worry about will I ever see us win one again. I can sit back and relax.
You complete me.
Yeah.
But do you not want more, Phil?
Well,
do you not want more?
It doesn't bother me, Shane. It genuinely, it doesn't. It like to us getting the Champions League, and I even said this at the end of last season. I don't care what this season was going to be like, because we won the league and we won the Champions League. The amount of credit that Klopp and this squad had with me, if they had a shit season, I said it in one of the season previews. I don't care. I just didn't care what happens this year. They broke that chain for me, which seemed to be unbreakable in terms of actually winning the league and the Champions League. They broke that chain, and that was it. That's me happy. I can turn off supporting football because I seen something I never thought I'd see again, and I'm being 100% honest when I never thought I'd see us win the league again. because the way football has gone, the way money's
I
gone.
was probably in that boat as well. I didn't know what it was ever going to happen, but it did, and I realised that listen, we're in a purple patch as regards with Klopp. Will it be as good after he goes? Who knows?
No.
With the way football has gone, look, you're probably right with the way it's gone with oligarchs, and now you've state-owned football clubs now. FSG do it a different way. I'm fine with them. I'm absolutely fine with FSG the way they run things as owners. Will it be as good when Klopp goes? Probably not. So I'd like us to strike when the iron is hot, to be quite honest with you, Phil.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I've been alive. I'm old enough to remember the success the first time round. Then just to go through the barren spells, and now we've got a taste for fucking winning again. Bollocks! I was snapping over how shy we were this season. Nothing Phil saying that gave us grace or kudos in the tank or whatever you want to call it. But bollocks! That I was gutted with how shit we fell off this year because I got a taste for fucking winning, and I didn't fucking like it. The thoughts of going back into exactly where we've been for fucking 20 odd years, where finishing top 4 was deemed as being successful. Fuck that. No. Yeah, get us back winning fucking leagues and trophies. I got a taste for that now. Give me more. I say.
Listen, absolutely right. But again, I go back to the idea, if you're properly... So this idea that fans are saying I'm emotionally detached because football is shite this season, the whole lot. Again, they'll be the very ones who'll be jumping all over an open top bus and going to a parade if we were actually winning the league or winning a trophy this year. And I keep going back to every single time it looks like we're about to achieve something, everyone is suddenly reattached emotionally. And as soon as it looks like
the truth is somewhere in the middle. It's not extreme. People are obviously going to fall off a little bit if the team is playing shy. It's not as good as with fans, but it's somewhere in between there. But
those Muppets aren't emotionally detached whatsoever. The truth is they're just trying to hide the hurt. That's all it is. They're trying to hide the hurt, and they're trying to be brave lads by hiding the hurt. That's all that is.
Because everybody hurts sometimes.
Let's say with our car in the M50.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes. Bizarre. Right, lads.
That's generally fandom, Phil. Yeah, like it's when the team is winning and the team looks close to getting winning. Listen, it's like these football clubs, these businesses, they're aiming towards casual fans that will fleet in and out, but when things are going well, they'll spend money and they'll get on board, and that's just generally what fandom is. They don't care about really the hardcore fellas. It's they want casual fans. Yeah, and winning gets that.
It's true.
Oh wait! I have another line. That's me in the spot. Right.
Right.
Yes.
Lads, that's been a great chat.
Finish the lyrics.
That's been a great chat this evening. I want to thank Garbrain. Thank you, Gar, for coming on. I want to thank Shane Davern over there. So it'd be great if you could just have a hand come in and then up this side.
Remember the big Kenny Evra hands?
Yeah. I know, it goes down. And over this side, then, of course, is my good friend and colleague. Right, take off your hat there for a second. I just want to make sure your head hasn't fallen off. Looking well. It is, yeah. It's still there. It's grown well.
Still holding on.
My fairy garden on the head. You can't beat it. Anyway. Right.
Like a Ginny Joe.
That has been the forum. I want to thank all the guys in the comments talking to us and everything else. It's great to see you all. And it's great to listen to whatever's going on, and great to get your comments and stuff like that. It's been a pleasure to have these on tonight. There's loads of shows on during the week. There'll be somebody along during the week with a show about how to become emotionally reattached to the show, since they had a show last week about being emotionally detached from the show. And then I think we've a midweek match this week, don't we? We play.
Also, Phil, can I give a quick shout before I forget? Gav's going to be updating all the shows along. So we've done a bit of great work there for Davo, charity work there recently. So we've another show coming up called Sienna Steps that we're going to be doing across all the shows, and we're hoping everyone can contribute just as strongly as they did for Kane. So get on board when you start seeing the thing on the GoFundMe links, etc.
Great stuff, Fraser.
Much appreciated, yeah.
Oh, well done. And of course, if anybody wants to get involved, get in touch with Ray. He'll be giving out more details as it goes along. I won't even make a joke or something like that because it's I'll do that on WhatsApp instead. Anyway, that has been the show. This has been the forum. I've been your host, Phil Casey. Bear down. Where do I press this button now? I can't remember what to do. Can you remember what to do? Where's Gav? Gav is a professional lad, isn't he?